the Solar Queen, and I am wanting to come on and talk about batteries for if you get a solar system installed on your house and whether or not you should get a battery and what kind of battery. So it is Friday, October 18th. It is really warm today, and I have been getting messages from my Tesla app. I have a Tesla Powerwall 2, and I keep getting notifications from my battery saying that there is a storm watch. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's beautiful, it's warm, it wasn't windy or anything like that, but as you can kind of tell, the wind is starting to pick up. So there's been this like red flag warning apparently that's been issued all over parts of Northern California. And if you live in Northern California, we have been faced with wildfires because of wind and strong winds that come and blow through the area. And they've been devastating fires. In fact, I just found out that there is a fire burning in the Oakland Hills, not too far actually from where some of our friends live. And I'm hoping that their house is okay and everybody's houses are okay. But I learned about all of this just from the notification from my Tesla Powerwall app. So I, eventually went and found out that there is a red flag warning in effect, which means high winds, dry conditions, and heat. So those are like, a recipe for if a spark, takes off and whatnot, it can cause some devastation. So please, if you're watching this weekend, no barbecues or don't start a campfire or anything like that. If you go out camping, it's going to be a nice weekend, but those are how some of these things happen. But thankfully, our backup battery is in reserve. What it was telling me, the message was, we're going to make your batteries in backup mode. So if we do have a power outage, which PG&E has issued that they may shut down power lines if the winds get really high, so that if a power line gets knocked over, it won't be energized and not start any fires. So that's a public safety power shutoff. These started a few years ago after, I believe it was a Tubbs fire in Sonoma and up in that area. And then, it was caused by down power lines and everything. And so it's really important that the utility company cuts the power so that they won't be responsible for fires. The Maui fire, we were actually in Maui when there was the Maui fires that started, and it just now, I believe it was last week, it was ruled that it was caused by down power lines. I saw some footage of it and I saw the power lines, whipping around and everything. Thanks, Alex, for subscribing. Hi, Cameron. If you're watching live, say hi. Tell me where you're from. And if you live in California, if you have solar, if you don't have solar. I'm talking about batteries and solar power and why the utility companies do power shutoffs for public safety purposes. So all that to be said, when the utility company makes a power cut, if you don't have solar and a battery, obviously, Alex T is in Indiana. Hello from Indiana, or hello to you in Indiana. I don't know, do you have a lot of solar? Is there a lot of solar in Indiana? I know Illinois is a big one happening, a state that has a lot of solar incentives and everything, but I haven't heard much about Indiana. Okay, so going back to power safety shutoffs, power shutoffs, they do this so that fires, don't get spread by down power lines. So when you don't have solar and you don't have batteries and there's a power shutoff, if you don't have a generator, you're kind of SOL. Your house is going to be without power. If you get solar, you want to know how young I am. Why don't you guess? That's PKPTN asks, how old am I? You can guess. Okay, when you get solar and just solar and no backup battery, if there's a power cut from the utility company, you are not going to have solar power to your home. So a lot of people for some reason think that when they get solar, they, yes, all their power is being generated from the sun, but if you don't have a backup battery and there's a power cut, your solar system inverter is going to shut down for safety purposes, because if the power lines are down and your system's generating power and it's energizing the grid, it could really damage and hurt people. So the inverters know to shut off rapidly. Oh, I'll tell you, I'm almost not double that age, but I am a little over 20 years more than that age. You're very kind to think I'm 23, but I'm not. Okay, so the reason for it is for safety purposes. They don't want power leaving your house and going down to a power line. And if there's a lineman working on it, they don't want to injure people with your solar energy that's coming, the electricity coming from your energy system. So if you have solar and no battery, you're not going to have backup power. Enphase makes a product where it can create a microgrid. I don't have any customers or homeowners with this product, but I do know it was something that hit the market a few years ago. Whereas if there is a power outage and the inverter will still work, but it'll create like a microgrid situation to provide power to the essential loads into the home if the sun is out shining. And the sun is shining and it's probably going to hit my solar system. No, I'm not 66. I'm not 23, I'm not 26. You guys are really funny. I'm in my 40s. There you go. So if you have, it's called Enphase Sunlight. And if you do have that, I believe it's Sunlight. If you have that, it will create, your solar system will still generate power while the sun is hitting your solar panels for your home. I don't know very many people who have that, and I think it's a good idea in concept, but I think that a battery is yes, Alex, I'm 45. There you go. Okay, I'm 45. I think that a backup battery is the best solution for if you have solar and you are in a place where you may experience power outages. And in California, public safety power shutoffs is becoming more and more common because of these red flag warnings, because of wind and, downed power lines and things like that. So if you live in a place that experiences frequent power outages and you're getting solar installed on your house or you're thinking of it, a backup battery is really the ultimate peace of mind to be able to keep power running to your home, to your essential loads, so that things like your refrigerator and your lights will still work. And if you love to watch TV or be on the internet, you can and watch YouTube. So make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you're watching this and watching the replay. YouTube, if you're watching YouTube during a power outage, you can have it, your what is it called? Your modem and everything still up and running. If you have a smart TV, you can still watch YouTube through your TV, I guess your smart TV, your telephone, whatever it is that you do in the event of a power outage. So you're not running your house off of, candles and a generator and whatnot. Although whole home backup generators are a good thing to have. If you don't have solar and a battery and whatnot, you can get those big ones that are hardwired to a gas line or propane tank or whatnot. And then that way, if the power does go out, there's a transfer switch on the side of your house, and you shut off the main power to from the utility company coming into your house. You shut that off and you turn on your generator. So that you want to make sure, if you have a generator and later on get solar, that you get transfer switch, because those are important. And usually if you have one of those really big like Generac generators already installed in your home and you go on to get solar and a battery, you get automatic transfer switches installed on your main electrical panel for the purposes of not destroying your generator or your battery or anything like that during a power outage. So that's a little like detailed only for people who have generators or plan to get generators. It's very important to know that. So if you have a house that has the generator backing up the whole home, you probably don't need a battery, but I do know people who do because maybe they are not having a whole home backup generator and they get those portable generators and it's annoying because you have to go turn it on and then you have to plug in the refrigerator and something else. And a battery just gives you, again, that peace of mind and security and insurance that if there is a power outage and your home is just, the power's cut just because of a public safety power shut off, not because there's a fire around you or anything like that, you then will have power to your essential loads. And the biggest thing, guys, is going to be the refrigerator and the freezer so that your food that's super expensive right now, thanks to inflation, is protected. Here is a tip for if you go on vacation or if anything like that, you leave town, freeze a little thing of water, like a little cup or Tupperware of water. I still do this even though we have a backup battery. Freeze a little cup of water, put it in the freezer, obviously, or an ice cube tray or whatever you want, and then take a dime or a penny or something and put it on top of it after the water is frozen. If you come home from your vacation and that penny or a nickel or dime or whatever coin or currency you have that's like, a coin, if it is not on the top of the little cup, that means your refrigerator lost power and your freezer food may not be safe. So it might not be safe to eat anything in your fridge or freezer if you're gone for a long time. So people who go on vacation, you should always do that. So let's talk about, should you get a battery if you get solar, and what kind of batteries there are, and what makes the most sense for you. So I've already kind of said it. If you are living in an area where you're prone to power outages or you just have a lot of them, and you get tired of losing your food or whatever because the refrigerator power goes out for more than 12 hours or however long it is that your ice box holds your food cold or how often you open the refrigerator, a backup battery might be the best idea for you. There are two different kinds of batteries on the market for residential solar, and those are the full backup batteries. And then there's also batteries that are just self-consumption batteries for the states and the markets or the utility companies that don't offer net metering like they used to. And those states are Hawaii, California for the three major utilities, which are PG&E, SCE, and SDG&E. All the municipal utility companies are not subject to NEM 3.0. Sorry, let's see. There's a question here. How many solar panels are required to run 4 roof fans and 6 LED light bulbs? Probably not very much, to be honest. We size solar systems based off of energy consumption. So it's based on a kilowatt hour per year, how many kilowatt hours you use per year, because most utility companies have net metering that goes for a year, and that's when you get a true up. So every year you have an annual true up. In California with PG&E, SCE, and SDG&E, it is no longer that they have net billing now, and so every month you have a settlement. So if you overproduce, you're not obviously going to get a bill, but if you underproduce or you use more energy than your system was designed to generate for that month, you're going to pay the difference to the utility company. I would say less than 3 kilowatt system would probably be sufficient for that much. And solar companies are not going to install anything less than 6 to 8 solar panels, and that's like 8 solar panels, 3.2 kilowatt system. In fact, they don't if you kind of get charged more if you install anything less than 4 kilowatts, just because it's so small. So you kind of want to make sure it's worthwhile to do it. At least 8 panels, I would say, is the minimum requirement for an installation. So going back to what I was saying about, California, the 3 major utility companies, they have it now so you are truing up on the monthly basis. And we're hitting that time frame of the year when it's really a net zero situation. But November, because the solar production drops off, November, December, and January are the worst production months for California. And like, I use California because that's where I'm at, but depending on where you are latitude wise, it all really, you know, revolves around the sunset and the sunrise, when your sun rises and when it starts hitting your solar panels and whatnot. Like, this tree behind me is starting to cast shade on the lower corner of the solar array that's on the side of my house. The other array on the other side of my house is totally getting energy from the sun. Like, it's totally producing energy. So my kids are in watching TV and gaming on their iPads. If they're plugged in, they're being charged or being ran off the sun, which is really cool. I have two 200 watt and one 260 watt solar panels and a 17 battery. And I can only run two 12 watt water coolers. How can I improve it? Where do you live? Like, that sounds like a home setup. Like, you went out and bought some solar panels and a battery and you Jimmy rigged it together. So I'm curious. Pakistan. Wow, I have viewers from Pakistan. You just would probably need to get more solar panels because you only have 660 watts. That's not even a kilowatt of solar. So if you probably got a few more solar panels, that would be helpful. And I don't know what 17 played battery means. Is that 17 watts or 17 kilowatts? I would say you're asking how many more panels, maybe double the amount of panels you have and see if that helps you. But again, it's only gonna, when you have solar and a battery, in your case, you do have that set up for your house. But I don't know how Pakistan runs their energy grid, and it doesn't sound like this is tied into the energy grid. So you're probably working off of it like it's off grid. You're going to need several batteries and a lot more solar panels, like at least double what you have. So I hope that answers your question or helps you in the right direction. But here in the United States, where we have net metering for most states, not all states have net metering and not all states are solar friendly. Batteries during a power outage is really important to have. If you get a backup battery that has backup capacity, or not backup capacity, the ability to back up some of the circuits in your home, you're going to be happy. Like, a few years ago in California, Northern California, well, actually all throughout the state of California, they did a public safety power shutoff. I think it took 4 days for our power to be reinstated or restored. And so we lost a lot of food in our refrigerator. There were some really gruesome stories of even like funeral homes losing power in there and whatnot. And so hopefully they have, since that situation, gotten generators and or solar and backup batteries. But losing power for 4 days is a lot of time. When you have a backup battery and you have solar, and the power is out for multiple days, as long as the sun is out and the sun is generating power through your solar panels, your home is going to be the circuit breakers that are a part of your essential loads is going to get power. The other breakers are not going to, or other circuits. Any circuit that's 30, 40, 50 amps, not going to get power. It's just 30 amps, 25 amps or less, depending on the battery that you get and its like what it's designed to support. Tesla Powerwalls are really well known. They will back up loads that are up to 30 amps. So that's most of my house. But in a power outage, you don't want to be running everything. Like, you still want to go into conservation mode. You just kind of, again, have that peace of mind that you have lights on if you need them and your refrigerator is doing its, like, keeping your food cold. You're not losing power to that. And you're going to be, if you minimize how much power you use during a power outage, especially at nighttime, you're going to conserve, you're going to not run through your battery as quickly. And most batteries are 10 to 13 kilowatt hours, depending on the kind of battery that you get, is going to be the amount of stored power. And then there's a little bit of a reserve. So you don't want to run the battery down completely, because if you do, then you don't have any more backup power. And if you know the sun's coming up in a couple of hours, then it's just going to it's going to provide power to your essential loads and simultaneously recharge the battery. So that's how the technology is designed to work with backup batteries. My electrician is not much qualified for this kind of setup. Obviously, he kind of messed up. If you could help me in any way, that would be appreciated. Unfortunately, I don't know much about how things are set up for off-grid, except for I do know you need several batteries for several days worth of stored energy, and you need a big enough solar system to be able to generate the power to charge up your batteries. So for your situation, you have less than 1 kilowatt of solar panels. You probably need at least 3 kilowatts of solar panels. And I don't know what size your battery is. I would say try and get at least a 5 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt battery. But even for a 10 kilowatt battery, 10 to 13 kilowatt battery, it's good to have like at least 5 kilowatts of solar, 5 to 7 for the bigger batteries. So I hope that's helpful. I would say get at least 3 kilowatts of solar panels. So again, for you watching in Pakistan, you have 660 watts of solar, which is 300 and, what is that? 340 watts shy of a kilowatt, 1 kilowatt of solar. You need like twice as much at least for your house and your setup. Okay, so backup batteries, that's essentially how they work. They back up the essential loads in your house. And when you get solar installed on your rooftop and you get a backup battery, the installer is going to come and they're going to ask you what loads are priority for you to back up with the backup battery. And so you're going to go through all the loads that are 30, 25 amps or less, and that's what's going to be backed up on your house during the event of a power outage. Public safety power shutoff, things like that. Somebody hits a pole down the road and the power gets cut. And it's pretty quick for the backup battery to kick in and take over, like pretty fast. So that's that for backup batteries. There are self-consumption batteries, and if you live in an area where you have frequent power outages, I would just encourage you to invest a little bit more money and get the full backup battery. If you don't have very many power outages and you're not in an area where there's like wildfires and things like that, then a self-consumption battery should be sufficient. And all that means is you're load shifting, kind of like think about it as load shifting. Everyone's at work or at school during the day. The solar system's generating power for your home during the day when no one's there to use it. So you're taking that energy that's generated from your solar system and it's loading up into the battery so that you can use that power during those peak hours of night when energy generation costs, transmission, distribution is more expensive. Because more and more utility companies are moving over to time of use, which means they bill you for non-peak, mid-peak, peak hours, like peak time of day. And peak time of day is the most expensive because that's when there's the greatest demand on the grid. So you want, if it's very expensive to buy electricity or, get the electricity during those peak hours, you can generate all of the power during the non-peak hours and then put in your battery and then use it from your battery. And then essentially you're not then having to buy it at the expensive time of day. And a lot of times these batteries will carry you through the night because around 9 o'clock, I'd say most people are starting to get ready for bed, their energy demand lowers quite a bit and you are not running a lot of, appliances and things like that. And the utility companies shift from peak hours to non-peak hours. So I tell people do your dishes and laundry during non-peak time of day because that's the least expensive time of day to do those things. And if you have solar, then you should do those activities when the sun is out and powering your house. I actually charge my car on the sun, like with the sun, with the solar equipment. And you can, like, I don't know how it is with all electric vehicles, but for me with my Tesla, I can lower the amperage that I'm using to charge my car. The lower I go, the longer it takes. But, you know, it's important to keep your car charged, especially if there's a storm warning, storm watch warning, red flag warning like we are in now. So my car is charged up, my battery is charged up, and if we have a power cut, then we go into conservation mode and we maintain as much backup battery power as possible. But with self-consumption batteries, just like if you didn't have solar in a battery, if you have a power cut, your battery will not provide backup power to you. It is a self-consumption battery only. So it's very important to think through what kind of battery is best for your home and the location you live in and how often you have power cutoffs and whatnot. So I hope this is really helpful for you guys to understand what kind of batteries are on the market. There's different brands. There's Tesla Powerwall, there's Enphase, there's Solar Edge, there's, I know Fortress Power has one, Franklin Whole Home has the batteries, Stores is another battery. There's lots of different batteries out on the market. In the commercial space, there's all sorts of batteries. You just got to pick which one is the best for your home and make sure that it will meet your needs, especially if you live in a place where you have a lot of power cuts. I would encourage you to get a full backup battery. Even though a little bit more, that's what I would do. Okay, you say, I can arrange solar panels and batteries, but I need a plan chart or something to arrange in order to run my whole house appliances. Yeah, I would say maybe find someone in Pakistan who works with renewable energy and see if they can help you. That sounds like you need a line drawing. And I don't know if you need to submit it to your electric company or whatnot, but you need an electrical engineer or somebody who is familiar with single line drawings to be able to draw that up for you so that you can install it as is. So stay safe out there, everybody who lives in the Northern California area with this red flag warning. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and if you're thinking of getting solar for your home because you know that this is the way things are going to be going with power safety shutoffs or public safety power shutoffs, and you're interested in solar for your home and you live in California or anywhere else, I help in 36 states, other states. And if you have a business and you want storage for your solar and storage for your business, I can help you there as well. And I can help with level 2 and level 3 EV chargers for places of business as well. Obviously, I can help with all that with residential, but on the commercial side, I can help as well. Get you set up, save money on your energy costs, but then also be prepared for if there's power shut off. That's it, everybody. Oh, go to my website, jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com. You can fill out the form there, or you can text me if you're in the United States and you're interested in a solar quote for your home or business. You can text me at 415-301-4646. Have a great weekend. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and share this out with anybody you know that's interested or wanting to learn about batteries for their home or business. All right, guys, take care.